Felicitous greetings, fellow fanatics. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Adam the Fanatic, and today we're taking a look at Arcseed, a mecha-themed roguelike deck builder by Massive Galaxy Studio. Without any further ado, let's dive in. In Arcseed, you'll take on the role of one of three pilots, guiding your mech about the battlefield to do battle with alien robots made to look like angels. Yes, the EVA inspiration is quite clear in more ways than one. Deck control works largely in the vein of Slay the Spire. On your turn, you have 3 energy, which can be increased by various means. You may spend that energy to play cards from your hand. Cards can power up your shields, give you extra movement, inflict status ailments on enemies, or simply deal damage. Sometimes, especially powerful cards will have the drawback of inflicting a status ailment on yourself, such as shuffling an Arc-Psychosis into your deck, or servo-locking you, which doesn't let you play any other cards until you remove them from your hand. In addition to your turn-by-turn energy, you'll also have to keep track of your batteries. You'll drain them every time you use up energy. On most maps, you'll have a station or two that will allow you to charge them mid-battle by simply ending your turn adjacent to them. Enemies do forecast what they'll do when you end your turn, but an enemy's actions will change each time they're attacked, so you might want to save an energy point or two for getting out of the way in case they do a big attack. When your turn ends, it's then the Angels' turn to act. This may involve moving around, charging their shields, attacking buildings, or, of course, attacking you. As you fight, civilians are evacuated every turn. If the building has civilians in it when it's attacked, it'll affect your score and the credits you receive at the end of battle. You will have some cards that can help evacuate the city faster, but for the most part, this will be done automatically each turn. After all the alien forces are defeated, you'll gain credits depending on how many people were saved, and also get to choose a new card for your deck. Never click the skip option here. There's no downside to taking extra cards, because between battles, you'll go into the Hangar where you can spend credits on repairing or upgrading your mech, or to buy new cards. You can spend research points on the tech tree, swap out your equipment, or build your deck. Deck building allows you to freely add and remove cards at your disposal between battles, with a pretty tiny minimum deck size. If there's cards you know that you won't be using at all, there's a tech upgrade that lets you sell them for 50 credits each. Depending on how things go, you can max your stats in a run. I did it on my second win. Equipment allows for 2 weapons and 3 armor slots. Equipment is kind of hard to come by, but can give you powerful bonuses. Weapons will give you recurring cards that appear in your hand every so often, while armor tends to be more passive effects, such as increasing your maximum health or charging your shields a little every time you move. When you're ready for the next stage, the path sometimes forks. Elite enemies are obviously more difficult, but give greater rewards. And sometimes you'll come across a store or an event container instead of a battle. But eventually, you'll come across a boss fight at the end of each of 4 acts. Win or lose in a run, you'll gain experience for the Arc Pass, which gives you experience for permanent unlocks. This includes unlocking the other pilots and mechs for the roguelike mode, and unlocking the ability to purchase epic rarity cards during a run. I've won the game twice thus far, and still don't have that option. Presentation-wise, the game looks absolutely beautiful. The pixel art is amazing, and there's a number of different intros for each battle. There is a story mode technically, but to be honest, it doesn't really need a spoiler section. You unlock an additional pilot and mech after each chapter, but the only real story is the pilots interacting with each other briefly when they meet each other for the first time, and an extended version of the introduction sequence. However, I suppose I should address the obvious elephant in the room. I made it very clear before that I am a Christian, so some of you may be wondering if I'm offended at the fact that the aliens appear as angels. For that, let's go to the Bible itself. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into apostles of Christ. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. 2 Corinthians 11, 13, and 14. The game makes it pretty clear that the aliens use the form of angels to lure humanity into a false sense of security. If Lucifer himself can appear as an angel of light, I see no reason to take offense at the idea of aliens using the form of angels to fool humanity. Besides that, I actively requested a review key for the game, and I would never request a key for a game that I know is going to offend me. It's not like this wasn't clearly visible on the game's store page. All in all, Arcseed is disappointing. Conceptually, it's a mixture of Slay the Spire and Into the Breach, and on paper, that's a great idea. The groundwork is actually quite solid, and the artwork is nothing short of excellent. However, I don't think they should have released it as version 1 quite yet. There's a lot of things that just feel unpolished. The UI isn't as clear as it could be. In both Spire and Breach, you almost always know exactly what your opponents are going to do after your turn, and the entire concept of these games is predicated on that. Here, it's a lot less clear at times. You can hover over an enemy to gain a bit more detail on their actions, but it's not always transparent. Speaking of a lack of transparency, cards that give you a negative card when you play don't display what that negative card actually is. This is a small change that would be a huge boost to judging whether or not it's worth it to take said card. You can go to the main menu and look up the drawback in the library, but you can't do that while in the middle of choosing rewards post-battle. Besides that, you shouldn't have to. As aforementioned, story mode doesn't really have much in the way of an actual story. Funny thing is that both of the inspirations almost completely lack stories, but they don't purport to have story modes in the first place. Not every game needs to have an in-depth story, but don't say you have a story mode if you're not going to write a story into the game. And that aside, version 1 is kind of buggy. To be fair, the dev is working on bug fixes. They even released a hotfix the day after release to fix a major one. This is a title that shows promise. It can be good, but it needs more time to bake. The foundation is solid, but the interface and the balance still need work. If the idea of Slay the Spire meets Into the Breach meets Evangelion appeals to you, then it is worth keeping on your radar and wishlisting. But as it is a week after release, I do have trouble recommending it in its current state. In conclusion, I feel I must give Arcseed a lacking 6.1 out of 10. Arcseed is currently available for PC via Steam and is slated to come to all major consoles in the near future. If you're interested in purchasing or learning more, links are included in the description. What about you? What do you think of Arcseed? What video game deck builders do you enjoy? If you have any questions, remarks, or opposing points of view, leave them in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell. If you really enjoy my work, please consider funding my channel on Patreon. Until next time, farewell, fellow fanatics. Thank you again for watching. I have plenty more to share with you if you're interested. You can click up here above my head to subscribe to my channel. You can click over here on my monitor to see the most recent video that I've worked on. Or if you prefer, you can click up here to open this mysterious vault and see what video that the YouTube algorithm has picked just for you.